served as the second night of the annual draft between all WWE brands. The Red brand picked up some big names Friday, such as Big E, Bianca Belair, Edge, and Keith Lee, while SmackDown scored Charlotte Flair, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, and The New Day. In addition to continuing the picks for both shows, Bill Goldberg returned to Raw to address his ongoing feud with the almighty Bobby Lashley. Let's take a look at which superstars found new homes and everything else that happened on tonight's Monday Night Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio. I am joined this evening by good old MF Michael Fletcher. I am not sure if the phenom Michael Bullock will be joining us this evening. We did not have a Raw chat this evening because Michael Bullock had a commitment beyond his control. So I don't think he'll be joining us this evening. But if he were to, then we will catch him up on what he missed. If not, then hopefully we'll see him Wednesday night on Wednesday Night Mayhem. Dee Dee Woodson, unfortunately, still out on her leave of absence. Our thoughts and our prayers continue to be with Dee Dee and family, and we hope her issue gets resolved soon, and that she'll be back with us. But for right now, Monday Night Raw, Night 2 of the WWE Draft, live from the Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, Tennessee, the home of the Nashville Predators. And we started it off with an in-ring segment. The SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, and she went on to proclaim that, hey, I am the first pick of Monday Night Raw for Night 2. And we'll get into that in a little bit, but she gets interrupted by the Queen, Charlotte Flair, and then as well as Bianca Belair. And, well, everybody knew Becky Lynch would end up on Raw after Charlotte was drafted to SmackDown. With the other 3 picks in the first round staying with the same brand they already on, there weren't any surprises. The opening promo segment was decent, but that should have led right into Belair versus Charlotte. Following it with Damian Priest and Jeff Hardy felt rushed. But anyways, I mean, fine segment for what it was. And it was announced that later in the night, Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair would go one-on-one in the main event. But the business at hand is the draft picks. Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville presiding over it. Adam Pearce presiding over the Monday Night Raw picks. Sonya Deville presiding over the SmackDown picks. And the number 1 pick of the night, Monday Night Raw, selects, no surprise here, the man Becky Lynch. The number 2 overall pick, first pick for SmackDown, the Tribal Chief got what he wanted. His cousins, Jimmy and Jey Uso, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. They stay on SmackDown. 3rd overall pick, Monday Night Raw, selects the almighty Bobby Lashley. And with the final pick, Friday Night SmackDown selects the boss, Sasha Banks. So we all had we all had a feeling Becky was going to stay on Raw. I'm not surprised by that. After Charlotte was drafted to SmackDown, seeing that she's the Raw Women's Champion. And with the other 3 picks in the first round staying with the same show they were already on, there were not any surprises. And that's really all I can say on all this. So a match, solid opening segment, but Becky and Lashley for Raw. The Usos and the boss are staying on your show.
Yeah, solid picks both on both sides of the fence. I don't think there was really much argument after round 1. I think Becky proclaiming that she was going to be going to Monday Night Raw and that she was the number 1 overall pick for them. Um, we kind of felt the writing was on the wall on this one. Fox, actually, from what I've been told, and it has been confirmed by multiple sources, the Fox network wanted Charlotte Flair. That's why she went to SmackDown. That's why she was a first round draft pick for SmackDown, because Fox wanted her. This was a little bit of a shock, at least for us. because I don't think none of us thought that Fox was going to get involved on this, but uh, Fox wanted the queen. I think they can market around her because of the legacy that she has, and yeah. So when we found out that happened, obviously the next thing in our minds was, Becky's gone. She's good as gone. There's no way she's gonna stick around now. And sure enough, um, the shoe dropped, and Becky Lynch is indeed heading off to Raw. Um, it was a heartbreaker for me. You know how much I love her. Uh, I hope and I know she'll do great on Monday Night Raw. I wish her nothing but the best. And obviously, you needed to keep the rivalry going with her and Bianca Belair. So there's some unfinished business with that on that side of the fence. So it kind of makes a smart idea to do it that way. So obviously, a solid promo segment at the beginning. As far as the picks goes, there wasn't really any surprises here. Paul Heyman does his job, does indeed convince Fox and the SmackDown brass to keep the Usos there, to keep the Tribal Chief happy. So that's a big move there. And then you got Bobby Lashley going to stand on Raw. Partially a little not happy with that. I really think he benefits with SmackDown. Unless they're gonna continue, unless they try to do a rivalry with him and Big E for the WWE title, I just don't see why they would do that. I think he would be a fresh face on the SmackDown side. Sasha Banks going to SmackDown, no big surprise for me. The boss is the boss, and she just got back. I wonder what they're going to do with her storyline wise, because I think she will be a monster on SmackDown. So I think to get her, to keep her with Charlotte, with Naomi now, I like where the SmackDown division's going. I like where the women's division on SmackDown is at the moment. So yeah, solid. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF, and we're going to move on to what was the first match of the night, which was the United States Heavyweight Championship matchup. It was Damian Priest defending the title against Jeff Hardy. Winner of the match, 6 minutes and 50 seconds, and still the United States Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest, and Damian Priest wins it. And MF, Jeff Hardy got drafted to SmackDown the other night, and little spoiler alert, Damian Priest is staying put on Raw. So all in all, this made sense, right?
All in all, it made sense, unless Hardy would have won, and then that would have brought the U.S. title to SmackDown. That would have opened the door for maybe Nakamura to go over and head off to Monday Night Raw. But just like Damian Priest going to not only winning the U.S. title, but staying on Monday Night Raw, much to my delight, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs staying on SmackDown as the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. So the secondary titles have been resolved. The big belts, the world titles, the Universal titles staying on SmackDown. The WWE Championship remains on Raw. So those were kind of the two big moments, or the two big things that we're going to talk about. And now with the women and with the women's division, Becky Lynch is the SmackDown Women's Champion. She's going to Raw. Charlotte Flair, the Raw Women's Champion, off to SmackDown. I believe there will be a crossover where both women will be swapping belts very, very soon. If not, maybe by either on SmackDown or sometime next week. But they have to have the girls swap the belts. But you don't have to necessarily do it officially, not yet. But it has to happen sooner rather than later. You have to think about it that way.
Right. So
As far as the match goes, sorry,
right.
because I got caught up with the draft talk. But as far as the match goes, it was a little too short for my liking. It was only a 2.5-star match. I wish they would have given these guys more time. I think that's the biggest gripe I would have, is that they should have gotten more time out of this.
Positively. I mean, the actual match got very little screen time due to a pair of commercial breaks, so we didn't get to see much from them. They have great chemistry, but weren't given as much time to show it as in previous encounters. What we did see was good, though. So 2.5 stars for that. I 100% agree. So with all that, we move on. We have a cutout here. Well, actually, after the match, new Raw draft pick Austin Theory came to the ring and interrupted Jeff Hardy, and sucked up to him at first, but then he lured him in and he attacked him. So possibly maybe an Austin Theory Jeff Hardy match before Jeff Hardy goes to SmackDown. We'll see, because remember, these new rosters do not go into effect until after the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. So that's what we have to do. But for right now, then we had a Shayna Baszler against Dana Brooke. Shayna Baszler wins the match in 1 minute and 20 seconds. And we all thought that that Shayna was going to take out Dana Brooke like she did to Nia Jax and Eva Marie, but Doudrop saved Dana Brooke from a similar fate. So nothing to really worry about there. So round 2 draft picks here and now. Monday Night Raw selects Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is going back to Monday Night Raw. I'm not surprised by this, because, as you know, once we heard that Becky was going to Raw, the fact that they're married, and also that Edge was going to Raw, you kind of had a feeling that Seth Rollins was going to be on their way. So Seth Rollins is on the way, and he's staying on Raw. Well, he's going back to Raw, rather. Friday Night SmackDown selecting the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, King Nakamura, and Rick Boogs, package deal. So Pat McAfee just got what he wanted. He's going to continue to rock out with Nakamura and Boogs. But then again, he's not the only one who won. We all won on that one, because we all love when Nakamura, Boogs, and McAfee rock out on SmackDown. It's hella fun, and I'm glad that they decided to keep that going. And with that, Damian Priest, he stays on Monday Night Raw. He is the United States Heavyweight Champion, after all. And then from there, finally a shakeup for the SmackDown side. Sheamus, the Celtic Warrior, he's going to SmackDown. So there you have it. And so as far as these picks go, I mean, I'm not crazy about the Rollins character nowadays. I mean, the last time he was on Raw, he was the frontline soldier of Monday Night Raw. That's the Seth Rollins I hope we get back at some point, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But hey, he's a big name. He's made a lot of history, and with him and Becky on the same. Him and Becky obviously married and parents in real life. They obviously had to keep him. They had to keep him on the same show, so I'm not at all surprised by that. Nakamura and Boogs. That's a win for Pat McAfee, obviously. I know Pat McAfee's. We all saw how nuts Pat McAfee went when Roman Reigns was selected as the first overall pick Friday night. He probably did the same damn thing on that. And then, what else do we have? We had Damian Priest staying on Raw, which made all the sense in the world, because Nakamura is the Intercontinental Champion. So you had a feeling that once that was announced, that Priest was going to stay on Raw, and that's true. U.S. title stays on Raw, but Sheamus going to Monday Night Raw, another veteran presence, 4 teams for SmackDown, along with Jeff Hardy. So we'll see what happens with that. And he's been an unsung hero of this pandemic era with some of the great matches he's had. So not much more to say here. MF, obviously, the women's match was a dud, obviously, but bad news is you lose Seth Rollins, but you got Sheamus back. What do you make of your round 2 picks?
You know what? I'm gonna say this. There's a lot to talk about here. First off, Seth Rollins going to Monday Night Raw. No big surprise. First off, because of Becky Lynch, because of a lot of factors. Nakamura and Rick Boogs, the chemistry with Boogs, with Nakamura and Pat McAfee is so dynamic. I think Fox realized that's great television. The WWE fans eat it up every time they do it. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's one of the highlights that I get each and every Friday night when that happens. So I think to do Boogs, Nakamura, and McAfee and let them just go and do what they got to do, it's awesome. So that's actually something really interesting. So no big surprise there. As far as Damian Priest go, all right, I actually got some inside information about this. Oh. And this is actually something that I can confirm as well, Anthony.
Okay.
USA Network and NBC Universal told WWE to have Damian Priest stay on Raw. They asked for WWE to keep Priest on Raw for a number of factors. Number one, because of the Telemundo, and of course, because of that NBC Universal is celebrating Spanish Heritage Month right now, that Damian Priest being one of the big stars, and that also was one of the reasons why you ended up getting Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio on Friday night, because of that as well. So they really are trying to create a culture for the Latin American fans. And Damian Priest has become a big star, especially in the Central America area, Puerto Rico, down in the Panama, down in Dominican Republic. Those areas has become a hotbed, and it has become a big star down there that they wanted it to bank on it. And USA and NBC Universal asked WWE to keep Damian Priest on Raw. They got their wish. They got what they wanted. Everybody is happy on this one. You get the Archer of Infamy still on your brand, the United States Heavyweight Champion, and I think that's why. Honestly, I would have loved to have Damian Priest on my side on SmackDown, but that was definitely a reason why he ended up on Monday Night Raw. But I am ecstatic and very happy to see the Celtic Warrior Sheamus coming home to SmackDown. Let's be realistic. His best years was on the SmackDown brand when he was partnered with Cesaro, The Bar. They were killing it on SmackDown. And anytime he's on SmackDown, he's always had a really, really, really good run on the Blue brand. I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. Open Bar and fighting is back on SmackDown. I can't wait to see him. That's going to be awesome. That's all I'm going to say about that. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Real quick, MF. Seeing that if Cesaro were to stay on SmackDown, we'll get into that later. If they were to stay on SmackDown, could you rule out what are the possible chances that we might get a Bar reunion down the road?
I would love it. I think the SmackDown fans have been waiting for it. You know what? And let me tell you, when they were together, I mean, you remember the run they had as the tag champions. It was a pretty good run. It was a pretty good run.
Very
so
good.
I mean, if you reunite Cesaro and Sheamus and reunite the Bar, I mean, the tag team division on SmackDown would really benefit, like wholeheartedly benefit, if the Bar gets back together. But obviously, we can't say that officially yet.
No.
because of the fact we don't know where Cesaro goes. As of now, he's still waiting in the wings. He hasn't been selected yet.
All right. Well, so with that being said, let's continue on here. Another cutout here: Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo against Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. Repetitiveness at its worst. Garza and Carrillo win the match 1 minute and 45 seconds. Another meh fight. And then we move on to round 3 of the 2021 WWE Draft for Night 2. And here we go. With the first pick of round 3, Monday Night Raw selects the phenomenal AJ Styles and Omos package deal. The phenomenal one and the Colossus are staying on Monday Night Raw. Now we get and the best part is that was the only stay pick. The other 3 picks, shakeups. SmackDown, MF, your women's division. Business is about to pick up. Not once, but twice over. First, you just got yourself the Queen of Spades, the submission magician, Shayna Baszler is going to Friday Night SmackDown.
Dude, that's going to the worst nightmare for all the women on SmackDown is Shayna Baszler. The buzzsaw is coming. And if she has that reckless mentality, that attitude, dude, Friday nights is going to get ugly. And I mean in a good way. I'm so ecstatic that I got Shayna Baszler, man.
Oh, just wait. There's more. In this case, going back to Monday Night Raw. Kevin Owens going back to Monday Night Raw. And the other big business pickup move for the women's division of SmackDown. SmackDown again raids NXT, and they select Tian Shaw's Xia Li. Whoa, boy. MF, you are the JR of this group. When it comes to that women's division, business has indeed picked up on Friday nights.
I will say this. This is interesting. Xia Li coming to SmackDown Live. That stunned me. I did not see that coming. I think none of us saw that call.
Absolutely not.
I'm absolutely ecstatic with the decision. I'm over the moon with this announcement, and I cannot wait to see what's gonna break down. But I'm gonna say it, man. This was a great call, to say the very least. And yeah, I'm ecstatic with it. So really nothing more to add here. And yeah, this was amazing. This was a great pickup for SmackDown. Their women's division is looking very strong right now. I mean, there are some that, there's still some that are a little bit in the, that's got some work to do, like Aaliyah, like Xia Li, definitely. But you got a pretty strong core 4 right now with Charlotte, Shayna, Sasha. So, I mean, right now, that's a pretty strong core right there to start with, to build off. And now we just got to see, what else happens. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with that.
And how about AJ and Omos staying on Raw and Kevin Owens going back to Raw?
Owens needed to go to Raw. Needed Raw. I don't know, for some odd reason, he was doing really good, but he needed to get out of there. They needed to get him out of there. AJ and Omos, I'm not surprised that they stayed. Obviously, they got some very big things for Omos, so that's good that they got him and stayed on Raw. As far as anything else goes, no, I think it was partially status quo up to this point. So really nothing crazy coming out of this round, except, like you said, the women's division on SmackDown got a major boost with Xia Li, but more importantly, with one of the best NXT Women's Champions of all time. Like you said, the Queen of Spades, the submission magician, Shayna Baszler, now Team Blue. Probably happy to see her leave, but more importantly, man, oh my goodness, is that a game changer for SmackDown?
Absolutely. And as far as Styles and Omos are concerned, good thing they're staying on Raw, because it was announced today that at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, they will get their long-awaited rematch for the Raw Tag Team Championship against Randy Orton and Riddle. And so there isn't really much more to say on that. So Raw Talk right now has just announced some new draft picks for Monday Night Raw. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, the Dirty Dogs, are going to Monday Night Raw. Dana Brooke is on there as well. It looks like Jackson Riker. I think Veer and Shanky might have just gotten. All right, now as far as SmackDown is concerned, I think they just split up Tegan and Knox, because I think Tegan Knox is on Raw, Shotzi's on SmackDown, and I think I see Natalya in there. Jinder Mahal going back to SmackDown, and Veer and Shanky have been split. So I don't know which one is which. I can't tell them apart. But MF, breaking news: one of your former WWE champions, Jinder Mahal, is going back to Team Blue.
Well, you know what? The thing was, that was where he made his biggest name. That's where he made his biggest splash as a champion. So I mean, am I over about it? No, not really. But the thing is that we got to see how this plays out. Right now, there's still a lot to be deciphered and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, you are absolutely right. For some of those moves up to this point, and there's actually been some other moves that happened that you haven't addressed yet, Anthony. But we'll get into that in just a matter of minutes. But yeah, no, this was good. It was a good decision. It had to be done.
Yep, and I don't know if it's Veer or if it's Shanky, but Veer and Shanky have been split. One's on Raw, the other's on SmackDown with Jinder, and unfortunately, a very popular women's tag team has just been split up. Tegan Knox is going to Raw, Shotzi Blackheart to SmackDown. They've been split.
Yeah, well, that's tough. They were really good. We were talking about them maybe being possible contenders for the women's tag team titles.
Absolutely.
And now they've been broken up. I mean, that's a little bit of a heartbreaking moment for us. I think we all can agree. Not the best thing that happened, but I'm very high on Shotzi. I'm very happy we got her. I know, Anthony, you're very high on Tegan Knox.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
and Raw also got Liv Morgan. I saw the graphic. Liv Morgan going back to Monday Night Raw.
That's gonna hurt. But I kind of understand why they did that. Because I think they're gonna want to continue the storyline where her, Carmella, and with Zelina Vega, because Zelina's going to Raw. So
as announced on Saturday. Yeah,
it was announced on Saturday. So yeah, Zelina's going to Raw. Carmella's now on Raw. Liv had to go to Raw. I think they're gonna keep that storyline going for a little bit. Maybe Tegan Knox teams up with Liv Morgan. Maybe have them work together as a team.
Team.
That'd be a little, two cute little Spitfires, teaming up together. Who knows how that's gonna be? Oh no, I just realized something.
What's that?
The freaking Tank is coming to SmackDown. Oh no. Oh no.
Well, that makes up for Raw getting stuck with the 24/7 BS. So.
Oh no.
You got the Tank, MF.
The Tank is coming to SmackDown. Oh no.
Shotzi. They split her and Knox. Yeah.
Oh.
So
I forgot about that stupid Tank. Wherever Shotzi goes, the Tank goes.
Yep, and she's gonna be in that thing all alone, and she's gonna raise some hell with that sucker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but relax, it doesn't go into effect until the 22nd after Crown Jewel, after Saudi Arabia. So you'll be fine for a couple more weeks, MF. So but anyways, oh boy, getting got lost in the silliness there. All right, then we had another in-ring segment. The WWE champion Big E, he cuts a promo, gets interrupted. Well, he actually called out Drew McIntyre, and they get interrupted by the Dirty Dogs, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. It led into a match: Big E and Drew McIntyre against Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Big E and Drew McIntyre win the match, 10 minutes and 25 seconds, and it was also announced, MF, that Drew McIntyre, he said it to Big E, I challenge you to a match for the WWE Championship. It took a while. We finally got there. And what did I tell you? I said it was going to be Saudi Arabia. You had your doubts, but oh no. The Saudis are going to get it. Big E, Drew McIntyre, Crown Jewel, WWE Championship, MF. I believe I had that one.
Yes, you did, but dude, there's really nothing more to say. It was just that it's gonna be an interesting dilemma, interesting situation. But you know what? I kind of feel like Big E will successfully defend the title. There's no way that they're gonna let Drew take the belt
No.
to SmackDown unless Roman drops the Universal titles to somebody from Raw. But that's the only way that happens. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But no, you're like you said. It's gonna be interesting to see, and that's gonna be one hell of a fight.
Oh
One
yeah.
hell of a match in Saudi Arabia. I had my apprehension and I had my doubts about the match, but now it's happened. There's nothing we can do about it now. All steam ahead. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a heck of a fight. So we got nothing more to say. Anthony, is yours.
And what about the tag match with Big E and McIntyre against Ziggler and Roode?
I mean, it was all right. I mean, you could probably say 2.5 stars. I don't think there's really much to talk about here. So yeah, nothing more.
Yeah, the talking part of the segment went on way too long and got to the point of being boring before McIntyre called himself Big D. Then it was funny again. Ziggler using his history with both men to facilitate this match was a nice bit of continuity that we usually don't get with WWE. Reminding us that he had alliances with both men also illustrated how Big E and McIntyre have gone on to great success without him. The tag match was good, if a little predictable. Building tension between Big E and McIntyre by having them one-up each other is the only effective way to tell this story with two baby faces. And Big E accepted the challenge for Crown Jewel. 3-star match for that. And that's really all there is to say on that. And then from there, we had another return match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Kevin Owens had a promo segment that was interrupted by Tozawa. Nothing to speak of there. Nikki ASH, Rhea Ripley, return match for the Women's Tag Team titles against Natalya and Tamina. Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH, they successfully defend the titles 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Meh fight. We're gonna bypass that. And now we're gonna get to the next round of the WWE draft. Shakeups all around. Every pick, shakeups. We didn't have anybody staying. Monday Night Raw selects the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Friday Night SmackDown selects Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders. This was the bomb of the round. Monday Night Raw selects Finn Balor. Finn Balor going back to Monday Night Raw. And to wrap it up, SmackDown selected the one and only Ricochet. Well, while this week's show featured a wide variety of superstars, that's an overall thought. Nikki and Ripley have started to mesh into a real tag team recently. Their pre-match promo made it look like Ripley was trying hard not to laugh at Nikki's antics. Part of the problem is that we have seen this match several times in recent weeks. WWE has been better about not booking as many rematches lately. So, but unfortunately, they went back to the repetitive route, and Natty and Tamina got their rematch, but they didn't get the job done. Sorry to say. And as far as the picks go, I mean, the Street Profits going back to Raw, I'm very happy about that. A welcome addition to the tag team division after losing the New Day to SmackDown. Viking Raiders going to SmackDown. I know MF's got to be thrilled about that. A nice addition to their tag team division. The bomb was obviously Finn Balor. I mean, Finn Balor going back to Monday Night Raw. I hope this run on Raw will be better than the last one. That's all I'm going to say. Hopefully he'll get bigger and better opportunities down the road. And Ricochet going to SmackDown. That's a nice mid-card move for them. So, and I know MF's got to be happy with both of his picks because he knows both of these picks very well. He knows the Viking Raiders from their days in other promotions. I know MF knows their history and of course Ricochet when he was in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma and the whole 9 yards. So so a lot of big things going on. So a lot, but every pick in this round was a shake-up pick. The Profits coming back, big boost for our tag team division. But Finn Balor, that's huge for Raw, and I hope he gets a better run like he had before. So not much more to say. MF, Street Profits, Finn Balor, they're going to Raw. And in return, SmackDown gets the Viking Raiders and Ricochet. So MF, how do you feel about the Viking Raiders and Ricochet coming to Team Blue, even though you did lose Finn Balor and the Profits?
Yeah, losing Balor was a devastator. That was a devastating blow. That definitely hurt more than anything else. So yeah, we deal with that. So really nothing more to add there. But to get the Viking Raiders, or I think that was awesome to get it. Eric and Ivar, I love these guys. Big fan of them. Even during the days when they were on NXT, I was a big fan of them. And like you said, Ricochet, half man, half amazing. This guy is good, dude. Him, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods together. Just him and Kofi alone. The craziness these two knuckleheads are gonna pull. You love the parkour stuff. You love that attitude. I gotta go with him. I'm a big fan of his more than anything else. I've been very high on Ricochet for a number of years, Floyo. You know that more than anybody else. So yeah, I'm very ecstatic that Ricochet is coming to SmackDown. Can't wait to see him. He is the one and only. So yeah, like Casey Cantazaro said, when he spreads his wings, especially when he does that Superman thing at the very beginning. But I can't wait to see what he does. This guy's a legit star, and I hope that he gets done correctly and that he shines like we know he can shine on Friday night on network television on Fox. So yeah, can't wait to see Ricochet.
Absolutely. And we move on to the 5th round of the WWE draft, and we also had the segment with Bill Goldberg and Bobby Lashley. We'll get into that in a minute. Round 5. Not as crazy as the previous round, but Monday Night Raw keeps Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is staying on Monday Night Raw. One shakeup, and SmackDown is the beneficiary of this shakeup. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, package deal. They're going to SmackDown. Alexa Bliss is going to stay on Monday Night Raw, and staying on SmackDown, and I know MF's got to be thrilled about this, the Swiss Cyborg, Cesaro, and then we had the segment with Goldberg and Bobby Lashley, and it is official at Crown Jewel. Bill Goldberg, Bobby Lashley, no holds barred. Be a man fight and then some. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So MF, Karrion Kross, Alexa Bliss staying on Raw, SmackDown. You keep Cesaro, but you got a fresh up and coming heel tag team in the Cousins, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm very optimistic about it. I definitely like what Angel Garza and Berto Carrillo's been doing. Can't wait to see what they do. Of course, Cesaro. Now we could start those talks about the bar. Those bar talks are going to start. You know it, Florio.
Yep.
They're going to start talking about it. On Monday Night Raw, status quo. Karrion Kross has been looking really good on Raw lately, other than that one hiccup he had with Jeff Hardy on opening night, on his first night there. Other than that, he's done pretty well for himself. And Alexa Bliss, I mean, there's no way you could have lost her. Dude, I think people would have gone absolutely bonkers if you would have lost Alexa Bliss. But, you know, with the body of work that she's been doing, I know that I heard that they might be repackaging her to become the goddess again, the 5 Feet of Fury, possibly again. So we don't know what we're going to get, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty solid round. So yeah, nothing more to say.
And of course, MF, Bill Goldberg, Bobby Lashley, no holds barred, Crown Jewel, Saudi Arabia. Brace yourselves, so that's gonna be a man fight.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a heck of a battle. Like you said, that's gonna be one of those battles that you can see for your very self. And yeah, there's really nothing more to add. I think it's been pretty interesting. So yeah, eh, let the battle begin. That's all I'll say about that. Thank God they didn't put it for the title. This needed to be a solo one-on-one. Let's get it out of the way, and from there, yeah, it's yours.
It was just a matter of time before the match was officially booked for Crown Jewel. At least WWE did it in a way that makes sense. But the segment fell a bit flat without MVP there to do the talking. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin are right back to taking bumps for Lashley, so they may end up regretting putting the Hurt Business back together. Honestly, it could have been a lot worse. Goldberg kept it short and sweet. The only thing that would have made things better would have been an appearance from Goldberg's son Gage. But, you know, after the incident at SummerSlam, obviously. So we're just going to leave it at that. And then it led into Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, the New Day, squaring off against the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Kingston and Woods win the match 2 minutes and 25 seconds. We're not going to really get into that. Then we had Randy Orton and Riddle. Randy Orton called out Omos. He wanted a match with Omos, but nothing unfortunately happened. But Randy Orton did get an RKO out of nowhere in there on AJ Styles, though. So I know MF was probably grinning from ear to ear on that. So we're just going to leave it at that and continue on here. So with that, let's and then we had the before we get into our main event, which was Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. We had the final round of the WWE draft, and let's get into it. Just give me a moment here. I'm having a well. All right, we do have the final round of the WWE draft here, and all right, just
I got it, Anthony. If you want me to.
No, I got it. I got it, MF. I got it.
Okay.
No, just running slow, of course. You know how I have my issues here, as always. Final round. going to Monday Night Raw for. I believe this is going to be her first time ever on Monday Night Raw. I think she's been on SmackDown the entire time since Brand Extension 2.0 started. For the first time ever, the most beautiful woman in all of WWE, Carmella, is going to don Team Red. Carmella is going to Monday Night Raw. Friday Night SmackDown, their last big move, they raid NXT again, and they picked up Ridge Holland.
Oh,
I hear you licking your chops over there, MF. We'll
get
your thoughts. We'll get your thoughts on that. All right, MF. We see your Ridge Holland, and Monday Night Raw raises you Gable Steveson, the Olympian. He is going to be on Team Red. And with the final pick, you couldn't have picked a better Mr. Irrelevant, if you will. Lame Duck Man Sami Zayn is staying on Team Blue. So, well, MF, you thought we're still stuck with Corbin and we're stuck with his little buddy there, which nobody wanted. But the bad news is you still have to deal with Lame Duck Man. You couldn't have picked a better Mr. Irrelevant, but I just heard you snickering over there. Business has indeed picked up. Ridge Holland is now on Team Blue. Oh, be a man and then some.
Yeah, that is a game changer to get Ridge Holland. Of course, he worked very closely with one of the running buddies. One of my buddies, Pete Dunne. So, with Ridge Holland, Dunne, even though Dunne is going to be under contract with NXT, maybe that's a hint. Maybe we might see the Bruiserweight sometime down the line. But I'm just going to say, we'll wait and see how this goes. And, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting situation. But Gable Steveson, like you said, gold medalist from this year's Olympic Games, the 2020 Tokyo Games. He won the gold medal, signed a contract with WWE. Normally, he goes and starts out from. You normally would start from NXT. Oh no, he bypasses NXT, goes right to the main roster, and they put him on Monday Night Raw. What a spotlight this guy is going to get now more than ever before. That's a big, 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 tall order for Gable to start his wrestling career on. I'll openly admit it, the longest running episodic television show in history. And yeah, you could claim that they are the flagship of the WWE on Monday Night Raw. So I mean, that is a lot of pressure to put on this former Olympian. But I mean, that's a huge get for Monday Night Raw. That's a huge get for them. And then of course you get Carmella, the most beautiful woman in all of the WWE. Again, it beats the narrative of the storyline that she has because Zelina Vega's already there. We've already talked about Liv Morgan going there now. So obviously that makes perfect sense for the storyline to continue. Obviously that was going to be the ammo altogether when this thing was going to be all said and done anyway. So, and as far as Sami Zayn goes, yeah, I'm not too happy about him going. I kind of would prefer him going to Raw, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna get too over about that either. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
And as far as Carmella going to Raw goes, I mean, that's huge because she's never been on Raw before. So
No.
That's definitely a welcome addition to the women's division. I've been wanting to have her on Raw for a long time, but obviously, I think a lot of that was because of Corey Graves being on SmackDown for so long. But now that he's back on Raw, I'm not at all surprised that I'm guessing he probably used some of his influence.
Oh
to get Carmella on Raw.
And I'm pretty sure it was definitely that it was definitely Graves' pull on this one more than anybody else.
Yep. So Corey Graves. Um, but anyways, I actually now have the full list. I couldn't make out the graphic before on the Raw Talk, but I've got it right here and from right now. A lot of people going to Raw. Only four people going to SmackDown. So here we go. The following superstars have been drafted to Monday Night Raw per the Raw Talk. Dana Brooke is staying on Raw. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, the Dirty Dogs, package deal. They're coming to Monday Night Raw. Jackson Riker is staying on Monday Night Raw. Veer is staying on Monday Night Raw. Liv Morgan coming to Monday Night Raw. Mia Yim. Raw got Mia Yim. Mia Yim is coming to Monday Night Raw. Tamina is coming to Monday Night Raw. They split up her and Natalya. Tegan Nox, we talked about that. Tegan Nox is on Monday Night Raw. They split up her and Shotzi Blackheart. The Hurt Business, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, they're staying on Raw. And The Miz is staying on Raw as well. And as far as the small list of folks who are going to SmackDown, Shotzi Blackheart staying on SmackDown. Natalya is going to SmackDown. That means her and Tamina are split up. And Jinder Mahal and Shanky are going to SmackDown. And they've also announced that Bayley, who is recovering from an injury, she's been listed now as a free agent. Because remember, Bayley's out with injury. She's going to be out for quite some time. So she's going to be a free agent, as is Brock Lesnar. So we're going to have to wait and see.
But from what I've been hearing about with Brock Lesnar, there is a possibility he could end up going to Monday Night Raw. So Brock could go to Raw. That's the rumor that I was hearing about Brock. Bayley right now is a virtual and utter coin flip. I think that right now, because it was an ACL injury, she's out for at least a year. So they could wait as much time as they need for her before she can get back and everything else. And one other person that we haven't talked about that actually is also another person that's also a free agent, but she's been out because of pregnancy, Lacey Evans. Lacey, we got to think about her and where she goes once she gets back. Maybe I think she could end up going to SmackDown, because remember, she had a little rivalry with Charlotte Flair before she got pregnant. I kind of feel like maybe Lacey goes to SmackDown. That would be my prediction.
Oh, well, we'll have to wait and find out. So there's all the moves there, and now we move on to the main event of the evening. It was Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair. Fight gets thrown out, 13 and a half minutes. Becky Lynch getting involved. While the DQ finish is not ideal, Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair still had the fight of the night. There were a couple of sloppy moments, but they recovered from them nicely. Having Belair come close to winning, only to have Lynch interfere, is supposed to protect Belair. But having her get beaten down after the match negated it a little bit. But I could probably give this about 3.25, teetering on 3.5 for this. MF, it was still the fight of the night, despite the DQ finish.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely, it was fine for what it was worth, and yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
And MF, we're gonna start the overall review with you here. Your thoughts on this second night of the draft from Nashville?
I thought it was a solid show. I thought it was all right. I could give this easily maybe another 7 stars overall. I thought like I said, 7 out of 10. I thought they did all right. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. Overall, this week's show was fine, if a bit forgettable. Most of the matches were lackluster or too short, and the only surprising draft pick was Gable Steveson, who is yet to even make his official debut. Draft doesn't take effect until after Crown Jewel, so we're probably going to see people pulling double duty on both shows for the next couple of weeks. Overall, the draft helped fill the time and made the show more interesting than usual, and we're just going to leave it at that. So yeah, a solid 7 out of 10 for me. So there isn't really much more to say on this. We'll now get into the Tony's take, and we'll do that quick, and then we'll call it a night. Impact Wrestling, as well as 205 Live as usual, and of course Impact Wrestling from the Skyway Studios, Nashville, Tennessee, and a Bound for Glory X Division title match qualifier. Trey Miguel, Laredo Kid, Alex Zane. Trey Miguel wins the match. Insane, high-flying match that was difficult to keep up with as everyone was giving their all. All three are superb picks for the X Division, and Trey has already been a standout. So he was a solid choice to go on to Bound for Glory for the championship match. It would be wonderful to see more of Laredo Kid and Zane in Impact in the future, as both had a lot of excitement to the X Division. Then we had the number one contenders match for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Tennille Dashwood, Madison Rayne squaring off against Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rayne, they win the match. They're moving on. They will move on to the Knockouts Knockdown Special this Saturday night on Impact Plus, and they'll challenge Decay for the women's tag team titles. Solid tag match with both teams doing well. I honestly can do without Caleb with a K. He's already worn out his welcome, but it is what it is. The Grace and Ellering are a superb team who work well to be a true tag team, which can at times be missed in the tag team division. I see the purpose and the influence winning, but would love to see a title run for Ellering and Grace. And then we had a very unique segment here. Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo get into a brawl at Mickie James' estate. Really cool. I felt like it should have had more anticipation for an exciting cinematic moment like this. I mean, man, that was insane. MF, I don't know if you saw the segment, but Deonna Purrazzo and Mickie James went to town on Mickey's estate.
Yeah, no, that was whoa boy. That's all I can say about that. Nothing more to say, Floyo. It's yours.
Yep, and of course we all know they'll be squaring off for the Knockouts title at Bound for Glory, which has a show stealer potential. Christopher Daniels in his first Impact Wrestling match in over 7 years, he went up against Madman Fulton. Christopher Daniels wins the match with the BME, the best moonsault ever. Yes, I marked when I saw it. Really awesome match, and Fulton looks great despite losing. I would like Josh Alexander to move on from Ace Austin, but I get needing to repay the favor from last week. Daniels still looks really good despite his age, and while I'd rather they continue to build young stars like Fulton, I get that Daniels needed to win in his return match to Impact. Can't underscore how good Fulton looked in this match despite losing. The Violent by Design segment, Heath Slater back in Impact Wrestling. So and Impact announces that there's going to be a new championship called the Digital Media Championship. They're going to crown the champion with a tournament on YouTube and Impact Plus, and the champion will be crowned in a 6-way championship match at Bound for Glory. 2 matches have already been announced for next week. John Skyler versus Ziggy Dice and Hernandez against Crazy Steve. And next week on Impact, Heath Slater will address the crowd and Rhino. Black Taurus, Steve Macklin, Petey Williams in the second X Division qualifier. The Bullet Club. Hikuleo, Chris Bay, and I forgot the other guy's name. He's squaring off against Finn. They're going to square off against Finn Juice and Chris Sabin in a 6-man tag. Ace Austin and Madman Fulton against Christian Cage and Josh Alexander. This past main event was a street fight. Eddie Edwards against W. Morrissey. And Eddie Edwards wins the match. Fun match. I can live with Edwards winning by way of interference by his wife, Alicia. I don't mind the loss so much based on the post-match beatdown and this furthering the current storyline. Morrissey is jacked and stands out on the Impact roster as a star, so this feud has been good for him. Eddie Edwards shines, especially in these specialty matches. 7 out of 10. Solid episode of Impact as we furthered a number of storylines and had some stuff that was really great. The three-way to start the show was action-packed and exciting. Mickey and Deanna's segment was also really well done and will likely be something great that is overlooked by the majority. Daniels Fulton was actually really good and made Fulton look strong. Main event was a solid stipulation match and everything overall was well done. Some things that aren't total hits like the Brian Myers nonsense, but overall solid show, 7 out of 10. So we'll I already addressed what's going to happen on the next show, so we will quickly now get into 205 Live, and then we'll call it a night here. Okay, so we started it off with Dante Chen versus Malik Blade. Dante Chen, 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Very basic. Should have been a sprint, but instead it was slow and then an ending out of nowhere. Blade had some great athleticism, and really, that's really all we saw here. 1-star match. Amari Miller versus Valentina Faraz. Women's matches are going to be the norm on this show now. 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Amari Miller. Not much here as it was kept short and mostly arm and mat work before a few moves at the end. 1 star. And then tag team action, Imperium versus Iki Manjiro and Trey Baxter. Imperium, 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Best match on 205 Live in a long while. Just wonderful tag action, and Baxter was great at taking a beating. Kind of wish they had the extra 5 minutes off of one of the other matches, and I think they would have turned into something special. Right team won as well, as the established team should beat the first-time team. This made the show for me 3.5 stars. 7 out of 10. It was looking like the worst episode of 205 Live, but then the tag match happened and it carried this to a good show. I understand getting new faces on here, and that explains the 3-match format, and I can live with it if they give us a banger in the main event each week. Definitely check out the tag match to see Baxter take a fantastic beating. So 7 out of 10 there. And with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. For this week only, we're back on our normal schedule, which means we'll be back on Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem over on MX channel, BraceFan 95, as we will get into NXT 2.0 and AEW Dynamite, their 2-year anniversary show. Looking forward to that. College football Thursday, back on Thursday. We have a huge double main event. Red River rivalry, Oklahoma and Texas, but the real game of the week with Big Ten and college football playoff implications, Penn State and Iowa. That's the big one right there. So there are some other good games to address as well. We'll get into all that on Thursday. Friday, Cerebral Smack Talk. MF will have that as well, BraceFan 95. Friday Night SmackDown, we start the King of the Ring tournament and the Queen's Crown tournament. And we'll also get into AEW Rampage. And then Saturday night, we have NFL Saturday. As we'll get into the games of Week 5. The headliner, of course, the rematch of the AFC Championship game, the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Other great matchups to look forward to as well. So, and then we're back here next week to cap off your Columbus Day weekend. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem over on the MX channel, BraceFan 95, it's Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel D. Woodson, and of course, always and forever, the Yankee Messiah 401, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days, and until Wednesday night for Mayhem, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, as we always tell you, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.